How's it going, Giants fans? My name is Alex from Fireside Giants, and today on vacation, looking at the news and something I see that David Carr, NFL analyst on NFL's Total Access show, said that he thinks the Giants will be in the trade market for Jimmy Garoppolo. So, of course, I was like dropping everything. I had to talk about this with you guys because I think it's blasphemous. The Giants acquiring Jimmy Garoppolo makes absolutely no sense to me for a couple different reasons, right? The only way that they would actually justify this is if it was a bridge quarterback situation, but why not just do Tyrod Taylor in that instance? Jimmy Garoppolo really helped by an elite defense for the 49ers, a great running game, one of the best offensive schemes in football. And, he is very injury prone over the past couple of seasons. He's only played one season in 8 years where he's actually featured in all 16 games. He played 15 games this past year, missed one at 30 years old with 3,810 yards, 20 touchdowns, and 12 interceptions. And yes, while he's probably better than Daniel Jones, the Giants are not in a place to compete right now. They're building from the ground up, right? They had to build their offensive line back. They needed more offensive weapons. They needed pass rushers. They need to build a secondary after losing James Bradbury. This team is in the first year of a true rebuild under Brian Daboll, Mike Kafka, and Joe Schoen. So, in my opinion, what is the reason for Jimmy Garoppolo? The specific tweet that David Carr said on the show was, I initially thought Brian Daboll would make a move for Mitch Trubisky when he was available because you don't necessarily know what you have in Daniel Jones. Now with Jimmy, I think the issue is his shoulder. No one really knows. I think that what teams are going to do is wait until the first or second preseason game if Jimmy gets in for San Francisco and just kind of see, does he really look healthy? And then I think that's when you might see the Giants make a move. But ultimately, Jimmy Garoppolo, he's not a good deep ball thrower. Honestly, he has his moments where he misses short passes too. I don't necessarily trust him to be a competent quarterback, rather a long-term solution for a team at 30 years old in the final year of a 5-year contract worth, I think, was $137 million. So personally, I don't understand why Jimmy Garoppolo would make any sense at all. I mean, I think his cap hit this year is $27 million, and the Giants only have $6 million. So they would have to essentially trade for him and then extend him immediately, which I just don't think is an efficient move for the long-term, vision of this team where, I think you go with Daniel Jones this year, you see what you got with him, and then you kind of move on afterward if he doesn't perform well, if he doesn't, live up to expectations. So ultimately, that's kind of the main thing for Daniel Jones, in my opinion. Now, if you look ahead to next year, the Giants do have a little bit more money at $54 million. But at the end of the day, I don't necessarily think they want to spend it on Jimmy Garoppolo because you're going to have to pay him $25–30 million per season, maybe a little bit less than that. But, he's still a guy who I think some teams will look at and say, we can win with him. He's a decent quarterback who's got a good enough accuracy in the shorter portions of the field to have a 68% completion rate. So he's pretty accurate, but he's not going to take advantage of those downfield throws. He doesn't have any mobility. He's a pure pocket passer. He was like what Patriots tried to develop as Tom Brady's backup was Jimmy Garoppolo. Has very similar traits in terms of just good short to intermediate accuracy, but Tom Brady's obviously just a much better player all around, from accuracy to long to deep throws, to just analyzing and scanning the field, and not even comparable. But, Daniel Jones, we don't know what we have in him yet. Let's see what we got with him instead of just jumping right into Jimmy Garoppolo, who offers nothing to this team. I legitimately cannot even devise a logic that justifies Jimmy Garoppolo starting a single game for this Giants team. Is he better than Daniel Jones? Sure, he might be. But who the hell cares if he's better than Daniel Jones? This team is not a playoff team right now. They need to build. They need time. They need to get some continuity. I don't think that if you trade for Garoppolo, you see him as a 4 or 5 year solution. He's probably a bridge quarterback for a rookie that they draft next season. So in that sense, you might as well just have Tyrod Taylor, who's much cheaper. You can, sign some guys and that, develop chemistry and then can actually contribute when the team is coming to a peak and they need guys to really just play it to the best of their potential under contract. But, I'd love to hear your thoughts on Jimmy Garoppolo. I think this is a nonsensical take from David Carr. It doesn't make any sense at all to me. I know that he thinks Jimmy G can win for some team and he can play at a high level, but the guy, can't make the Super Bowl. Yes, he's made the postseason multiple times, but, when you look at the teams he's played on, elite defenses, amazing running games, a lot of support, and then he's come up short in a lot of big moments and hasn't been able to do much. So that's my thought. Love to hear your opinions below on the YouTube channel. Make sure to like and subscribe as always. We'll catch you guys on the next one.